Okay. Okay. I think you can see not my notes, but the screen. Okay, so let's get started. So as usual, BPRI is a big institution with different level of trainees. So I'm welcome everybody for this meeting. But before we get started, usually we say that we have some little bit ground rules that we encourage everybody to be kind of nice and acknowledge our differences. So this is our normal ground rule. But as Pen says, the first one is like, please turn on your video if possible, based on your location that you're joining this meeting. And this is follow your agenda. We say that because we want you to be in time. Sometimes we don't follow it, but just that's our ground rule. And be supportive with the all opinion, but critique the idea, not the people. And we would like to hear everybody's voice. And if possible, mute your phone if you're in a public location, because it may not good for the other people who join in this call. So today orientation, we plan for two main objectives to achieve at this end. So first, to familiarize our trainees with the structure with this big institution, what is our mission, and give you an overview about our FIS program. And the other most important and critical thing that we are trying to do is to provide new trainee with the opportunity to network and get connected with our BPRI members. Okay, but given that, I have to say that we are 53 people with 6 institutions. It is really hard to have the good network session that everybody can interact and get to know. So what I did was, with these tiny blue boxes that you see in this area, try to get at least one person to represent each role that they play in this big organization. So, but because we have very less time to introduce each yourself, so I will go first with our FIS trainees to introduce themselves, explaining these details. First, say your name, which university are you from, an interested research area, and your career goal. For the faculty members and staff members who are joining, I'm not asking you to introduce yourself during this round, but when you're speaking on behalf of your committees or in the speed networking session, please introduce yourself to the trainees. In this way, we can reduce a little bit time. So in addition, after we have this little bit introduction with our team activities, and we have network activities, and afterward, I will explain the program requirement. And I asked few of our graduate trainees, and also already in our network, some undergraduates and our postdoc to join and have a kind of panel discussion where our new trainees can get some insight, not from the faculties, but from the other people that in different level in our organization. So I will stop getting sharing, and I will invite our all undergrads to start your self-introduction and go with somebody who first can volunteer. Otherwise, I will call your name. Which way do you like to go? Any volunteer first? Undergraduate can go and introduce yourself. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Sarah. I'm a sophomore here at A&M, and I'm currently studying biomedical sciences. And you said research?
Yeah, research interest.
Sure. So for my FIS project, I'm going to be working with Dr. Beamer, Maiva, and Chris, and we're going to be studying how nutritional stress affects grasshoppers at the genetic level. And hopefully after college, I'm interested in pursuing some science with hopefully some research in my future.
Thank you, Sarah. So can I go with the next to my screen is Angel. Can I go to Angel?
Hello, my name's Angel. I'm a junior at SIUE, and I'm working in Dr. Peterson's lab, and it's a microbiology lab, and we're kind of looking at gut microbiome and a little bit of cuticle microbiome. And then after undergraduate, I would want to go to dental school. So I'm on the pre-dental track. I'm getting my degree in psychology and then minors in biology and chemistry.
Thank you, Angel. I'm going to Christine or Christina. Hopefully I pronounce your name correctly, from the Washington State University, Barani's lab.
Oh,
Okay.
that's me. My
Yeah.
name is Christian. Yeah.
Christian.
I'm going to Washington University in St. Louis as a sophomore, and currently working with Dr. Rahman, doing experiments to determine the behavior of locusts when exposed to different olfactory stimuli.
What is your career interest after your undergrad?
Oh, after I'm an undergrad, I hope to go into graduate school and to continue researching.
Okay. So Shara from Texas A&M.
Hi, my name is Shreya, and I'm a sophomore in Texas A&M University, and I'm a public health major. For my FIS program, I'm going to be working in Dr. Song's lab to observe the early phase transition changes from gregarious to solitarious and vice versa. And I'm on the pre-med track, so after college, hopefully I'll be going to medical school and becoming a doctor. I'm not sure exactly what in the medical field yet, but.
Okay, thank you. Tamir from Arizona State University.
Hi there. I am Tamir Lisha, and I'm a sophomore at Arizona State University. I study biochemistry with a specificity in medicinal chemistry. I work in Dr. Cease's lab under Maureen Tahir, and we study the effect of physical activity on a locust susceptibility to fungal infection. And after I graduate, I hope to go on to medical school.
Okay, thank you. Alexander from Rice University, or working with Baylor College of Medicine.
Yes, I am Alexander from Rice, working with Dr. Fabrizio Gabbiani. We're looking at grasshoppers and their phenotypic plasticity. It's a little bit of a neurobiology lab. And my plans are medical school after undergraduate.
So Violetta, I hope that I pronounce your name correctly. So that is one of potential FIS student that who give me an interest recently after one of FIS trainee from Texas A&M say that she cannot join at the final moment. So I asked if anybody interested. She said that she would like to get involved. So I invited her to this event if she can get some information, but she's still in the process for the selection process, but I asked her to come. So I would like her to express yourself a little bit about what's your research interest and what is your name, what your major, something, a little bit about you.
Sorry, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Violetta Lamas. I go to the Tama location, and right now my major is biology with 2 minors in health and psychology. And I was hoping to get into research, with genetics when it comes to the locust, because I've always had a fascination with genetics. And right now I'm actually taking a course over genetics as well. I forgot the full name of it, but it's something I've always been interested in, just understanding different. Yeah.
Okay, what is your career goal after finishing undergrads?
After finishing undergrad, I was hoping to maybe take a 3-year long, because I wanted to go to med school, but I wanted to take a couple gap years so I can spice up my resume, do some shadowing, do some volunteer work, and I would say live life for a little bit before I fully dedicate myself to med school, because I know it's going to be a long process, because I wanted to probably go into surgery. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So everybody introduce yourself. So I will go to our committee members, starting from the executive committee. So could you please, somebody from executive committee, give a brief description about what is executive committee going, and that is our main structure of BPRI. So I'm inviting Dr. Gabbiani to give a brief overview about what is BPRI and what we are trying to do.
Hi everyone, so I am Fabrizio Gabbiani. I'm at Baylor College of Medicine in the neuroscience department, and I'm part of the executive committee together with Ho-Jun Song, who is here and probably can add a few words after me. So the overall goal of the BPRI is to study phase change so how grasshoppers transform into locusts, and at kind of different scales. Going from genome to transcriptome to what happens in the nervous system, what happens in terms of behavior and nutrition, as well as the larger ecological and economical consequences of all this topic, and how locusts can actually devastate countries if they kind of form swarms. So obviously that's why we have a lot of institutions, because no single institution has the expertise that is required. And we're trying to work as well as possible in a collaborative manner to get a better handle on this. And as a member of the executive committee, we're trying to kind of make sure that everything works the best possible, and taking some of the decisions that affect everyone in the group. So that's our main focus, but we delegate a lot to the other committees that then specialize on some topics that are relevant to the Institute. And I'm sure that you're going to get presentation about those as well. Ho-Jun, if you have anything you would like to add.
Sure. Hi, my name is Ho-Jun Song from Texas A&M University. I'm also part of the executive committee. Fabrizio described kind of main theme for our institute, but I just want to say that this is a large program supported by the National Science Foundation. And then program's name is called the Biology Integration Institute. And we're one of the first ones to get this award. Any phenomenon in life, and such a complex phenomenon like locust phase polyphenism, requires biological integration from people working on different subdisciplines. And then we need to put our brains together to try to understand this complex thing. And that's what we are here for. And we're very excited to provide opportunities to get training that you cannot really get anywhere else. Of course, students can get research from individual lab, but the strength of our program comes from this collaborative network where you can rely on expertise from different people across different campuses. And this is a really unique experience. And I'm really glad that you took the opportunity to learn and take advantage and go through your career path to become a scientist. So welcome.
Thank you, Ho-Jun. So next is our research committee. On behalf of research committee, I'm inviting Richard to give a little bit description about what your committee doing and what is your role.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya. Hi, I'm Richard Duell. I am here at Baylor College of Medicine in the neuroscience department and working as the research coordinator. As both Fabrizio and Ho-Jun just said, the project is a large integrative project covering a fairly complex question of behavioral phase change and what's underlying it. So just to quickly give you the scope of the research across the project. So we are looking at 6 species of Schistocerca grasshoppers, 3 of which have phase changes into a kind of swarming locust phase, and 3 of which do not have a locust swarming phase. And the whole project is set up to then examine the genomics, the transcriptomics, the behavioral changes, sensory processing, some neurobiology, the nutrition, the ecology, the microbiome of these animals across these species, how they differ in the kind of gregarious swarming phase versus the isolated phase. And then this will ultimately tell us what is going on that's causing the behavioral change and how they differ between them, what genetic and neurological and kind of holobiome changes underlie the behavioral changes. And then ultimately, perhaps it'll allow us to develop either genetic or non-genetic techniques for maybe even preventing swarming, preventing those phase changes. So the research committee is kind of organized with, or involved in organizing across the roughly 15 PIs in the BPRI, and hoping to integrate some of the research and keep track of what everybody is doing to keep ties across the seemingly disparate aspects that all tie into exactly what causes the transitions and what differs between these species and the two phases. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of the scope and perhaps where your projects might fit into it.
Thank you. Before I'm going, I would like to ask to Maeva, can you please pop in and share, because you are recently got into the research committee. I would like to give you to self-introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, Tanya. So I'm Maeva Tisha. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at Texas A&M, and I'm part of the Song Lab. I also work in collaboration with Dr. Beamer and Dr. Sword. And yes, I just recently joined the research committee, so I'm trying to help them to keep everyone on track and remember that the main word is integration, especially as you're all going to be in future integrative scientists. And so we hope to help you in that path. But I think Richard did say already everything else.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. So I'm next going into the outreach committee, Britt.
Hi, everyone. I'm Britt Peterson. I am an assistant professor at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, which is SIUE, and Angel is in my lab. So the outreach committee is focused on this arm of our project that NSF likes to call broader impacts. So we're interested not only in what effect our research can have, but how we're going to communicate it to the broader public and what that means for disseminating the knowledge that we generate here. So we do social media campaigns with help from Adelia and Vivian, who are two trainees at TAMU. We are in the process of producing a docuseries highlighting the research that all of y'all will be participating in. And we're also interested in sharing and training other scientists. So you are part of our broader impacts because you're going to be going out and sharing your knowledge and going and being citizens and doctors and all kinds of fabulous things. So we're interested in training you up and cross-training you. And so facilitating workshops and symposia to help do that is also part of our purview. So that's what we're working on. I don't know if I missed GLI. Rick, I'll let you introduce the idea of GLI.
Yeah, sure. I'm Rick Overson. I'm a research scientist at Arizona State University. Absolutely fantastic to be here. This is an awesome group of people, and I'm excited to get to know you all more. I just kind of wanted to say, if the BPRI is a big, wonderful place, but it's also confusing, and it's a big meta organization, and we all know each other to different extents, but we've spent the last 2 years trying to get to know each other. So I was just imagining things from your perspective. And so don't feel intimidated by this big collaborative group. So we're all kind of continuing to get to know one another. And I have two hats here at ASU. we have a locust lab, just like the one at Texas A&M here at Arizona State University, that's complementary. And so I spend part of my time working with undergraduates and graduate students, working on research on with our locusts and grasshoppers here. And another hat that I have is to work with a broad group of stakeholders that we have internationally. We call it the Global Locust Network. That's everything from government officials in other countries to people who represent farmers groups and nerdy biologists and land managers and other people whose plight is all intertwined with the challenge that locusts and grasshoppers are. I'm a crazy insect nerd, and I'm a bug nut, love insects. And so it's been a really rewarding experience to work with that stakeholder network. And we have an online platform called Link. It's sort of like a LinkedIn for locusts. We call it HopperLink. And that's a way that we also engage with that network. So if you're, I won't go into details about that now, but if you're interested in that, certainly reach out to me. And that's, I've been on the outreach committee with Britt for the last, I guess, going on 2 years now. And in addition to the activities that Britt talked about, we interface with the Global Locust Network to share information about what the BPRI is doing and get feedback from those stakeholders. Great to meet you.
Thank you, Rick. So before going to other introduction from Education and Diversity and Inclusion Committee, so there are some chat going on there. And I also like to remind you something, that we have a game. So for the undergraduate, so I will ask Tamir and Christine and Shara to be a one team, and Alexander, Sarah, and Angel to be one team, and try to identify people in that Padlet that we saw in earlier, to identify how you can match with the name and the three what they talk about, they describe themselves with the words. So when they talk and they give some hint, so try to identify people to match the people, okay? We will have a separate speed networking, but there are some chat going on. I thought that it would be nice to give a shot and encourage you guys to have put in some chat to recognize you, that helps that trainees to identify you in that matching. So before overdue, so I would like to go to Spence to share something about our education. And also I would like to Chuck to join immediately after Spence describe a little bit about the education.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first FIST orientation session. I am Spence Beamer. I'm a professor at Texas A&M University in the Department of Entomology, and my research interests revolve around nutrition. I'm the chair of the Education Committee, and I work incredibly closely with Tanya on all aspects related to education in the BPRI. She's specifically trained with respect to sort of assessments and educational activities and sort of running programs, and she's done an excellent job certainly leading this program and putting everything together, and you're in incredibly good hands with her. We take education very seriously, and I think we're trying to do some novel, innovative practices, and one of the things that I think will be really beneficial for all of you is the idea of an individual development plan that Tanya will be working on. Again, I think going back to sort of, reiterating things that Rick said, we are a big group, but we're a pretty friendly group. I know it's hard to sort of really properly engage across Zoom, but I think we're a very welcoming group at the individual level. So if there are things that you have questions about, whether it's research or just general programmatic issues, do not hesitate to reach out to any of us, and especially myself or Tanya. But we're very excited about this first cohort of FIST students and excited to see what you can produce.
Chuck, are you there? Chuck? Maybe we can come back later. So I will go to our diversity and inclusive committee. So Jenna, can you please go ahead?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jenna Curtin, and I am one of our 2 co-chairs for diversity and inclusion. And Dr. Kim Lopez is the other. I will let her introduce herself in just a second. But we're sort of we're here to just make sure that the team is running well. And so you can imagine all the things that we care about are making sure that our spaces are inclusive, that we have a really good, healthy climate, that we're all mindful of each other's different perspectives and backgrounds. And so a lot of what we'll do is kind of the diversity, equity, inclusion training. So this summer we'll invite all of you to participate with us, where we just get to know each other and talk a little bit more about culture and diversity and inclusion. We also are a resource for students. So here you are, it's your first meeting with this group, and we know that sometimes, as others have said, this can feel overwhelming. We know each other quite well by now, but it's funny because we always do it here. It's on this computer screen that I know these folks. And so when we see each other in person, sometimes it feels like an out-of-body experience. But you know, all of that said, if you ever feel like you don't really feel like you're fitting in, or you've got some complicated dynamics in your lab, we are a resource for you. So we have kind of an open invitation for you to reach out to us, and we can just give you a good outside external perspective, because we know that relationships within your labs are sometimes a little bit more like a boss and employee relationship. So I can tell you work with an incredible group of people. Again, these small faces on the screen, I have really come to adore over the years. And so I know that you will too. We're delighted to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm Kim Lopez. I just want to say hi and echo what Jenna said, and happy to meet you all, and just let you know that we are here as a resource for you. I'm an assistant professor in pediatrics at Baylor.
Okay, I think that's all. So we have, maybe if Chuck is available, I would like to ask Chuck to introduce if he's there yet. Maybe not. Odelia, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? Okay, we can commit later. So now is
yeah, I can go ahead, Tanya. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had a very busy morning doing experiments, and I just had time to eat now, so I just don't want you to witness me eating out of a can. But I will put my camera in 5 minutes. So hi, my name is Odelia. I'm from Switzerland, but I'm here at Texas A&M University. I'm working in Greg Sword's lab on behavior, and I'm a second-year PhD student. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. So next one is the one that fun activity. So please allow me to share my screen again. Okay, so you got the QR code, and Britt kindly put the link again to the chat box for the Padlet. So in the Padlet, first column, you see the names. And second columns, you see the 3 words that describe in that each personality, I would say. So in the breakout session that, as I mentioned, there's a 2 group was FIS trainee. So try to get to know people, but while you're trying to get to know people, try to match their name and the 3 words. So who's win? I don't know yet, but try to get it done. And also, for the trainees can ask clue, but for the other members, please don't ask clues. Okay, only trainees can ask clue, then they can get to know you better. So, but you guys can give a hint, but not the exact word that you put it in there. Okay, I will put into the breakout room of 2 groups because we have 19 people. It will be random, but I will move the trainees according to my selection. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so we hope that it will be fun. I'm trying first time, so but I don't know it will work or not. Let me check. Give me some time, you guys can talk while I'm creating this group. Hi, Marine.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Yeah, we are in the breakout session. We put
Yeah, I wondered.
Yeah. So I will put you into the breakout room. Wait a second. I am. Okay, so let's put you to the. They will describe you what is going on, okay? Because otherwise you will miss the time. Okay, thank you very much. I hope that is a little bit fun activity because I might try my best to have some kind of icebreaker that not regular thing, but try to do it with the virtual environment that fun, but at least memorable for trainees and encourage you guys to talk with other faculty members. So I'm grateful the faculty members participated as a colleague. So being like a friend. So I'm happy and I'm kind of feel like I wish I could be undergrad in this meeting. That's what I'm happy. So let's go to the training step structure. Then I will explain what you guys want to do as a part of this training. After that, we will have a little bit panel discussion to share our experience from graduate students and already in the training who already started this program. Okay. Okay, so everybody knows, so the FIST program, we are trying, this is focused on undergraduate students to get the interdisciplinary training. So how we're going to do this? So we have 3 stages of training that starting from introductory level to intermediate and advanced level. In each level, we have specified requirement because we need to have some kind of consistency between each institution because you are working in different lab, but you have to work together as a team, as a cohort. We are trying best to do something, but this is a very flexible structure that you can mutually agree and participate based on your personal need. For example, if you want to complete in introductory level, that means you are participating 1 semester work long period within one of BPRI labs and completing roughly around 120 to 150 working hours with PI lab. And at the end of your training in the semester, you have to submit a short brief report and participate at least 3 cohort meetings. I will explain what this means by cohort meeting later. Okay, so that is how we have the first level. If you wanted to continue into the next stage, that means intermediate level. That means you are going to spend another 1 semester within that BPRI lab. In this semester, you will have like kind of what you learn in the first semester, trying to build up your own project and trying to go with a little bit advanced level research product that ultimately end up with a kind of mini article, that mini studies that you can do. That is the what level that we are searching at the intermediate level. The advanced level is because our intention to give you an interdisciplinary training, that is you have option to apply for the summer exchange program. That means you can go and visit to another university within BPRI, spend some time in there to do some research collaboratively with the people in there. So you have to have some communication and come up with the idea you can do. So that is whole set of things that coming at later stage. But all faculty members and graduate student and postdoc will help to identify some activities you guys can do collaboratively. But it is a kind of activities that you getting to know something that different that you already in your lab that you're working. That is our 3 stage. So apart from this 3 stage, so we have this whole program structured in a way that encourage our trainee to have something after you left this program that help you for your career. Therefore, we develop one system called individual development plan. So for the graduate and postdoc student, this is a required thing. Most of university follow now this one, and trying to get a mentor and trying to align their expectation and your career goals, that ultimately end of the training, you have nice, like enjoyable training session, but it also benefit your career, that aligning your kind of training that helpful to go to your path. For example, I saw some people would like to go to medical college. So how that our team can help your application to be strengthened, whether a publication would help, whether you are training with another university that help you to get to that college of graduate education, something like that. We are trying to get that your expectation with our project goal to match each other, that benefit both of us. It's not only that we are trying to get you to train, but also get your help in a successful way that BPRI get benefit to produce some research product at the end. That's why we are creating this individual development plan. I will explain a little bit later in the next slide, okay? So although we have this expectation, our minimum requirement that we are requesting from all undergraduates is minimum 9 hours. That's mean around 2 credit course. But if you're taking this program as a credit base, that is the option that we are offering. You have to work depending on your credit hours, but at least we encourage every trainee to spend 9 hours in your primary lab. And also we require all trainees to have 1 monthly session where that we are trying to help you to find your niche and develop your career in the future. Okay, so this is an example of first semester how you would like. This is a very general outcome we lay out because each PI following their own way in their lab, and some are already have research experience before coming to BPRI. Some are starting from the beginning. So that's why we have very general learning outcomes and encouraging PI to discuss with trainee and change it. But at the, for example, in the first month, at the end of first month, you at least need to know which area you are working within the BPRI, and you're familiar that it's a big organization. There are several things, but I'm working in this project in BPRI. For example, this month, we consider this orientation as an activity that you get to know at least 2 or 3 people within this our whole group. You can communicate, at least you know beyond your organization. And the second one, the second month, we expect you guys to work with some undergraduate or graduate student or postdoc in the project and identify what is that project going on, what is I going to do, can I help that project? So get to know that project well. And the third month, you're getting a new skill. Like for example, you get to know one project. In that project, X method, you are going to be a little bit doing more and generating data, something kind of like that way. In the fourth month, you now know that this is the project in my lab. This is what I can do. So what will be the second stage project in my intermediate level? Can I develop this kind of research? That is the way that if you are a new beginner going for the second level. But I know that certain people already have research experience working with some graduate students. This structure may be different, but at least we are trying to get people to in different level. At the end of the first stage of training, you guys know what is BPR and at least know few research techniques, okay? In addition, we have monthly cohort activities. After this orientation, the next one will be the team building and the team collaboration. That is encourage you to learn about how you work collaboratively with people, especially in the interdisciplinary, because we are coming with very different diverse group. And the third one, we will help you to identify how to effectively read research articles, something like that. And the fourth seminar is I'm trying to get an external speaker that help you to identify how you can do a good presentation at the conferences, or what is best product based on your research that you are going on, how you can identify whether it's I'm going to produce a poster or conference presentation, kind of that. This is a general overview to give you what is the program structure. Okay, and the next one is, because this is, as Ho-Jun said, this is an NSF project. So we need to have some kind of documentation, how you're going to go through with this training. So one is the goal and planning sheet. We will ask you to prepare one page describing what is your research goal, whether you have any publication goal, what is your career goals, and kind of like that. So if you use my email previously I sent, you have access to all the documents that I shared in this slide. And also you can use this QR code and go to that folder and find the different documents that are required. So the next, I want to emphasize what is the memorandum of understanding. Okay, you are an undergraduate trainee, but we wanted to acknowledge your commitment and we consider you as our one of members. So this is the documents that explaining your expectation and your mentor's expectation within BPRI, how we work together. So please read through it and identify. And once within first month, once you finalize your mentors, sign it and submit to me. I will provide more detail in the emails later on, but this is just give you an overview. What is, especially we are doing this one because then when we have an agreement at the beginning, if you contribute to some research, you can ultimately get authorship or some kind of product that will benefit your career at the later stage, okay? And the next one is reporting requirements. So this is, we categorize into 3 levels. It is not very very lengthy report, but at least record what you have doing. The first one is the introductory level. It's have 3 sections that you wanted to fill up. That is non-technical summary. This is just a 100 paragraph trying to explain what your experience in the lab or whole semester. And the little bit example, brief summary in format of the research abstract, what you have done in that lab. And in the first introductory level, we would encourage you to finish at least in an article, mini kind of the method section that you have expert within the lab. For example, if you do some PCR assessment or gel electrophoresis, you have to write that method in your report, how you did it in your experiment, okay? For the intermediate level, mean you are building upon that you have done earlier. So you are not going to do a new report, but you are extending it into the little bit advanced level, okay? For the advanced training level, who get the summer training at the different institution, they have to submit a mini report about what this look like summer training. So the templates in that Google Drive, you can find whole direction given in there. Will be very small report. Note that if you're taking this FIS training as a credit base, you can copy paste your credit requirement report to that report. You don't require to build a new report because of this program, okay? So I hope that's clear, and I will have a Q&A session at the end. Before going to our panel session, I wanted to emphasize few training opportunities. If you've been with us for a long term in BPRI, maybe you can be a lab graduate student and participate in the lab training, or you can be a post-baccalaureate or technician in one of your labs. So these are the training opportunities within BPRI that we provide. So with that, I will give a quick overview of present our members in the trainees, and I will stop sharing my screen and giving you to ask the questions if you have any question related to my brief overview. Thank you. Any question? So everybody can have access to the Google Drive. Do you see that reporting requirements, everything? So it is clear. Is there any questions? It is not very specific, so please discuss with your mentors. You can tweak this out. This is just a guideline, okay? Don't be afraid that I need to do so much kind of thing. Okay, after that, if you don't have question, I would like to go to the next session. If anybody have any questions.
Hi.
Okay,
what is the name of the folder that you mentioned Google Drive, but what is the name of the folder you shared?
So the FIS orientation, I will copy and paste the link again. I already shared with you with the email, but I will do it again. So this is the folder. So every information is there. So please look at, you don't need to look at everything now, but just for your information, I'm giving all the information. Okay, so next is our panel discussion. So I invited few people from BPRI to join and share their experience, because I think sharing things will help the new training to understand our team environment. So I asked Angel, who have little bit experience before, like you guys, some of the FIS trainee, work with Braid, to share some something about her research experience. Like that, I invite Sarah, Maureen, and Odelia and Meva for a panel discussion. First, I would like to give opportunity for anybody to ask them a question. If there's no question, I already formulated some question that help for our discussion. So trainees, if you get to want to know something about BPRI, ask from them. So Angel and Sarah is undergraduate student who work in BPRI lab before, so you can ask some experience in there. And Maureen is representing Leadership Council. You can ask some question related to her. Odelia also graduate student. You can ask any question from her. And Maeva is a postdoc. So you can ask any question related to your training. So if I was a graduate student, undergrad, I would say, is this PISA so scary? I would like to ask like that question. So you are open to ask anything. So after this training, what will happen kind of thing. So ask some question from these people, including faculty members too. So, but I highly emphasize that our undergrad and graduate student to speak up and share your experience. Okay. Okay, then I will get privileged and I will ask the question that I drafted. Okay. Sorry. So Angel, could you please share something about undergraduate research as an undergraduate student, your perspective being in the part of this BPRI big project, working with Brit's lab. So don't complain, Brit work asking too much thing, but please say something nice.
She can be honest. She can be honest.
Yeah, so my experience has been really good working with Brit. I worked really closely with her and also a graduate student, Alexis. Her research focused really closely on locust gut microbiome and how it changes at different phases and like the possible effects of different bacteria present and stuff. I did a lot of like DNA extraction with her and finding like DNA concentration, running gels. I was also able to do a few locust, dissections to dissect like the GI tract of them. And then also I had a little bit of a side project going on with Brit and Alexis, where I was kind of doing the same thing, but looking at the cuticle microbiome at different phases, based on like some swabs that she got while she was down in Texas. Yeah, and then also even though we focus on like microbiology in our lab, the crash courses were really cool. We talked about like ecology, genetics, molecular bio, so that was cool getting to learn about the different disciplines and how it related to what we're doing in our lab.
Okay, thank you, Angel. So anybody have a question for Angel?
I would like to pose a question to all of the folks that have done some research. So our whole panel, Maureen and Adelia and Maeva and Angel, when you walked in, you just knew everything, right? You knew exactly what you were going to do and you knew how to do all of the techniques. And so, no, wait, that's not what happened, right? So if
yeah, from A to Z, everything.
A to Z, right?
Anything. Yeah.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about, so these folks that are walking in brand new, what they might expect.
I mean, I was trained as a biochemist and I was fascinated by locusts, but I mean, I grew up in Pakistan and my village was always under locust outbreaks. But then I came to Ari's lab and of course, and then I got to touch a locust and I never worked in an insect lab before. So I had no idea like how you hold it, and I realized, okay, you cannot hold a locust as hard as you can hold your petri dish in a microbiome lab, otherwise the locust is going to crush. I realized that, yeah, they're living things. So you have to feed them, So there's a lot of things. I mean, I had to come out of my comfort zone because I was coming in with things that were within my comfort zone. And then I was pushed to do things that were outside of my comfort zone. But I personally say that as long as you're willing to put yourself, because you don't do big things in your comfort zone. Bold, if you want to do something big, you have to be bold. And to be bold, you have to be willing to take risks. So if you can do something great, step out of your comfort zone, that's where you will find success. And that's where the success is. Thank you, Britt.
Yeah, I agree, Maureen. And I would add that you just have to remember you have to be patient, because when I first got here, I was like, yeah, okay, that's my project. I will do this, and I will do it alone, and that would be really quick. But you have always something, there's always something going on, and then you find another project, and you just have to remember it takes time, and you learn, and you also have like peers you can count on. And whether it is your PI or other lab members, or even outside of BPRI, like, it's really important to have not necessarily to be friends with a lot of people. Like, I'm very lucky because all of my coworkers here, like, we hang out even outside of school. But yeah, you have people around you.
Okay, so I will go for Sarah, because Sarah had very nice, interesting experience because she got privileged to attend our boot camp last year when she was a part-time worker at BPRI. So I would like to ask her to share some experience, how influenced her attending this event. What is the professional network opportunity that she got attending this whole BPRI event that we held last year? So Sarah?
Sure. So actually, whenever I went to the boot camp, that was the first time I had ever seen locusts or been introduced to the BPRI, because I had not been hired at that point. So I hadn't even been in the lab. So it was a little shocking seeing how many people were there and seeing how many kind of different research interests there were. But I think the most surprising and kind of the coolest thing I saw was that there were so many different kind of questions being asked and methods that were being used by different people at kind of different points in their career, like undergrads, master's students, PhDs, postdocs. And so that was really cool, especially it was a little kind of intimidating, especially because I had never seen a lab or seen kind of any, I guess, real research outside of school. But it was really cool seeing the different opportunities that studying kind of Schista circuit could bring. So it was a really cool experience for me.
Okay, that is so. If somebody don't know a little bit about bootcamp, I will give a brief description. So that is the first in-person event that happened in Texas A&M. Within whole BPRI, people get together for 2 days and discuss research. So during that event, Sarah attended that. She shared that her experience as a new undergrad, doesn't have any experience, but went to the one interdisciplinary research symposium with the faculties. Okay, so I will go for the Maureen and ask for some kind of share some detail in her role as a member of BPRI Leadership Council, how you engage with trainees and provide platform to their voices to hear for everybody in the BPRI. Can you share something about that perspective, Maureen?
Yes, so this is my second year in the Leadership Council. The first year I had to be in the Leadership Council because I was the only one from ASU, so I didn't have a choice. Second year was my choice to be in the council. But being in the council is just, I mean, especially when I was in the boot camp, I realized how to have difficult conversations. That is something, I mean, difficult conversations are hard to have. And also when you're trying to represent the trainees, right? Because it's like 4 of us, it's me and the team. And then we are trying to encompass and trying to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. And that can sometimes get intimidating for us or the team. But in that whole process, what we realize is that we are in an important position. So again, like I said, we step out of our comfort zones, and then we try to make sure that what is the problem and how can we solve that. Of course, we as trainees because we are trainees as well, and we cannot just solve the problem. So that is when we realize, okay, how are we going to relay the information in a professional way to the executive committee, and how are they going to listen to our concerns? And anytime we have proposed a concern, the executive committee has been very nice and has been very open to our comments, our suggestions. So my experience working with the Leadership Council, and of course the team, has been very, very amazing. It's been an enriching experience. And overall, it's just that, I mean, I'm always concerned about the fact that even if I'm the Leadership Council, there's a lot of responsibility. And that responsibility just means that I cannot just be the one, because I really like this session, so we should have that. I always try to make sure that the trainees are the ones that are picking those sessions, so we are a good representation of the trainees. But again, all of that requires me to step out of my comfort zone a lot. I think the PhD has really pushed me to come out of my comfort zone. And that is, I always say, that is where you find success. Not to say that I'm successful already. Of course, I'm not anywhere near success, but that's how you get on the journey of becoming successful.
Thank you, Maureen. So the undergrad students, so the Maureen and 5 students are representing whole Voices for Trainees on behalf of all trainees in BPRI. So if you have any concern about your research or about your relationship with mentor, or you cannot share with any faculty members or me or anybody, please feel free to contact Maureen or Delia, and we have another members. I will share those information so you guys can contact with them and get it best. It's not about the problems, but if you want to apply for graduate application, they did that process. So ask them help. How can I contact professor, something like that. So we will connect with that. Okay, thank you, Maureen. So I will go to Odelia. She is our star because she's doing a lot of roles. So she's helping our outreach committee do some social media. So being as a graduate student, but helping this kind of very big institution, can you please share something what you can give to these new trainees because of us being part of BPRI and having role in outreach committee?
So you mean related to outreach or social media?
So social media, anything that you can encourage that trainees to.
I would say sometimes you receive a lot of invitations like, hey, do you want to be part of that group? Or, hey, do you want to be part of the Leadership Council? Or do you want to join this? And I'm the first one to say, oh, no, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. But I don't know why I always do it. And then I'm like, damn, why did I do it? It's a lot of work, but actually you gain a lot more than you think. And you meet people. And yeah, I would just say, just be curious and just try. And yeah, right now, this week I had like maybe 15 hours of meetings, but that was worth it. And I like it. So don't be afraid to try new things.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from undergrads that want to ask from them?
Oh, and one last thing, I'm the one who is always bothering you for this Instagram account, so please just reply to my emails. Sometimes I feel very lonely because I have to ask like 3 times, hey, can you just send me a picture or something? But yeah, we need you.
And also bothering with a lot of emails nowadays, so Dalia too.
I'm the one who's bothering a lot, so. So Maeva, so I will go at the last. So she's our postdoc, but she's mentoring, have a lot of mentoring experience being a mentor for the graduate student and undergraduate student, but not in the level of the faculty member. But as a postdoc, we always see she as a just to go person to us. So I would like to ask her to share something, being as a mentor, what you can say to the new trainees and what they can do to do their training better, something that you'd like to share.
So I have, compared to graduate student, had the chance to already have more experience in different labs across the world. And I feel extremely lucky to be part of the BPRI because this is a unique opportunity. And people like although they be PI, are also learning at the same level. They are human who are also learning how to communicate among themselves across discipline. And that creates a very open environment. And I hope that you will benefit from that environment and this really unique place to do and develop your research. And, you know, one thing some of my PI at work at Texas A&M says very frequently is like, error will happen and science will not be easy. And that's the truth. And so don't feel afraid when you do mistakes. Feel always willing to come and talk to us, and we'll be there to troubleshoot. And no question is stupid. If you have that question, that means it's also our role to help you understand. You know, we are not all locust experts, but we are aspired to understand better the locust. So if you're in Texas A&M, I'm more than happy to meet you in person and help you. But even if you're in other sites, I'm always reachable by Zoom or by email or via Teams. So feel free to ask questions and don't hesitate to, don't stay inside of your institute, but really go across email, and normally people will be very open. So that's my take on, I think.
Thank you, Maiva. Because we have 2 minutes, I would like to ask to Ho-Jun, because Ho-Jun is the one, lot of me to share most experience about undergraduate research, and he helped me a lot to develop this program. So being mentor for a lot of undergrad students, can you give us a little bit guidance for these trainees that they can be better in their lab?
Sure. Well, the first thing, I mean, as an undergrad, our expectation is that, you know, you absorb, right? So, you know, and I do not, and for me personally, I treat undergraduate students as a member of my lab, as an independent scholar in training, right? I try to understand you know, what are the things or skills or knowledge that the student needs to gain so that they can be successful, right? So as I see you, how many of you have interest in pursue medicine or other parts, and, you know, perhaps it's per graduate school, but regardless of what the future is, the genuine experience where you take ownership of your research is really, really important. And then, you know, I was able to convert many medical students into an entomologist in my past. Not that I'm gonna do that for you, but you know, even if you are going to medicine and, you know, we're gonna work on one species for the rest of your life, this is one time you can work on you know, diverse group of things that you can actually kill and do things. So enjoy your experience. You're coming into a very unique environment, and as everybody said, we are here to help, and, you know, our goal is to make sure that you succeed. So that's all I have to say. Welcome to this journey. It'll be fun.
Okay, thank you very much. Today is the first time we are finishing everything by 3 o'clock, exactly what we said. So thank you very much for who joined everybody for this meeting. And I'm looking forward our undergraduate to become one day a scientist, and they will share this experience one day with their students, so, or their trainees. So thank you and goodbye.